welcome in our video on identity and access management in Linux system. In this video, we explore a practical application of IAM concept through a series of labs using different distributions of Linux. Our goal is to understand identity management and network security principles and apply them in Linux environment. Start our video by assigning limited sudo privileges to some users. So we need to create that user using the command sudo user add. The first user is Lionel. So I will create again the same command and create the second user, Kathleen, and the third user, Maggie. Now I should assign them a password. Use the command sudo pass wd Lionel. The password for Lionel. And we type it again. So use the same command and assign the password to Kathleen. Also use the same command and assign the password to Maggie. Okay. Now that we have created our user, open the vsudo file. Sudo vsudo. In this file, we will find the storage alias command and remove the command in front. It is already there, so we press I and remove this command, and down we will give our user different level of privileges at the end of the file. To Lionel, I will give all the privileges. So Lionel should have all equal. And to Kathleen, I will give only the privilege to execute one command. So Kathleen and that command is /user /bin system ACL status SSH. And finally to Maggie, I will give the privileges to run all the command under storage alias. To storage. Okay, this means that a user Lionel can run all the command as any user he wants. A user Kathleen can run only this command as any user she wants, and a user Maggie can run all the command under storage alias as any user she wants. So now that you are finished with modification, we close the file. And now try to log in Lionel account. Use the command sur Lionel. And enter a password for Lionel. And now I am located as in the Lionel account. Try to log as root also in that account. So sudo su minus. I will enter a password for Lionel. And now I am root, so Lionel can locate as root since he can execute all the commands using sudo. We will exit the account now and try to use another command with the sudo. So sudo system ACL status SSHD. So Lionel can see the SSH service status. Now come back and use the command again to see the partition disk. So sudo fdisk -n, and again the user Lionel is able to see the partition disk present in the system. Now exit the Lionel account and try to log in the Catherine account. So sudo Catherine. I should enter a password of Catherine. Now you are in the Catherine account. We will try to use again the command using the sudo privileges. So sudo system ctl status sshd. I should enter a password of Catherine. So Catherine can see the SSH services status. If you remember, it was the only privilege that we give to Catherine. Now come back and we will see again the sudo command to restart the services. So sudo system ctl restart sshd. Okay, sorry, the user Catherine is not allowed to execute this command since we have given to Catherine only the command to see the service of SSH but not to restart the services. So if you see again sudo fdisk -n. Okay, sorry, again the user Catherine is not allowed to execute this command. We remember again the command that we assigned to Catherine. Exit now the Catherine account and log in the Maggie account to see what happened with these privileges. So sudo Maggie, enter a password for Maggie. Now I am located in the Maggie account. I will try to use again the same sudo command. So sudo system ctl status sshd. Password for Maggie. Okay, the user Maggie is not allowed to execute this command. If you remember, to Maggie we assign the privileges to run the command only the command under the storage alias. If we try to restart the service, sudo system ctl restart sshd. Password. So again, the user Maggie is not allowed to execute this command. If we try now to see the partition list, sudo fdisk -n. Okay, but the user Maggie is able to see the partitions present in the system, means that the command fdisk -l, the sudo fdisk -l is present in the storage alias command. So now we exit and I am in my principal account. This labs is showing us how to give to our user different level of privileges to use the Alma Linux virtual machine, and by this enhance the security of the system. So now we are going to use the Ubuntu distribution of Linux to create a new user with an encrypted home directory. First of all, we need to install the encryption tools, which is the encryption package. Running the command sudo apt install encryption. After install, we will create a new user with an encrypted home directory. Use the command sudo add user encrypt home mobile. Now I will provide a password. Enter it again. Provide the full name, room number, just want to work from, home phone and other, and then confirm the creation of the account. Now we will try to log in the Mabel account, but before this we can see if the room has well created by run the command ls-l/home. You can see that our user Mabel is well created. Now we will log in the Mabel account. Sudo Mabel, provide the password. Now we are going to get the passphrase which is necessary when Mabel will enter in their home directory. It is provided to protect the room. So Mabel, I will run the command encrypt. Passphrase. Okay, so when Mabel will log in her account, the account should be decrypted automatically, but if I exit the account of Mabel, the account now is encrypted again. So this is how we can do to protect our personal directory. In this second lab, we will see how to disable the sudo timer. We will run the sudo command many times and see how the system puts in cache our password. The first command is sudo system ctl sshg. I will enter my password this time. So come back and run again the sudo command to see the partition disk. I have not entered my password this time. If I run again the sudo command to see the firewall rule configuration. Now again, I have not entered my password. To clearly see the difference, I will run again the sudo fdisk command. Sudo fdisk -l. Now I will run a particular command, sudo -k, and run again the sudo fdisk command, fdisk -l. Okay, you see that I have to enter my password before see the result. So I will enter my password. And now I have the result. Now inside to do the sudo fk command, we enter in the vsudo file. So sudo vsudo, and in this file you find the default specification. And in the default specification, we will write a particular rule which forces the user to enter the password each time he is used the sudo command. This is the default specification, and here I will add a default timestamp. So default timestamp timeout equal 0. This means that the user should enter the password each time they are used the sudo command. If it was 5 there, it means that after 5 minutes the user should be forced to use his password. So we have added this line, and we will exit the file. And run again the same command. We will see that each time we will be forced to enter our password. So sudo system ctl status sshg, and now I have to enter my password. So enter my password. Before I can see the result. If I come back and try again to use the sudo command to view the partition disk, for example, I should enter my password again. If I run again the command to see the IP table, the firewall rule configuration, sudo IP tables -L, I should enter my password again. Before I can see the configuration rule. Now we will assign this particular timestamp to only the Lionel account. Edit again the vsudo file. So sudo vsudo. Enter my password. And in that particular line, I will give this timestamp only to Lionel. So put here Lionel. Now if I log in the Lionel account, so su Lionel, type password for Lionel, and I try again to run the same command, you will see that in the Lionel account I will be forced again to enter the password of Lionel each time. So sudo system ctl status sshz. I will enter a password of Lionel to see the result. If I come back and try to see the firewall rule configuration, so sudo IP tables -L, I will enter again the password of Lionel. Now if I come back in my particular account, so in my own account here, and try to use again the sudo command, you will see that it is not the same as the first time. So sudo system ctl status sshz. Now I have not entered my password, but I have the result. If I come back and I can also try to use again the sudo command to see the firewall rule configuration. Also, I have not entered my password. So this configuration is important to force the user to enter the password as each time he is using the sudo command, and by this enhance the security of the system. Now we are going to learn how to setting account and password expiry data. First, we will create a user account with the expiration date of the 30 June 2025. We use the same command we are using since, which is sudo user @ -e to precise the expiration date of 2025, the year, the month, and the day for the new user Samsung. Now you can see the information about the Samsung account. Use the command sudo change -L Samsung. Okay, now we can see the account expire in the 30 June 2025. We can also modify this date of expiration account by using the command sudo user mode -e. We expect the format, the year, the month, and the day. 31 July 2025 for the user Samsung. Okay, And if you want to see again the information about the Samsung account, we just use the same command. And here we can see that we have changed the expiration account, which is now the 31 July 2025. Now we assign a password to our new user Samsung and force him to change the password at the first connection. So we use again the same command we are using, sudo pass wd Samsung to give him a password. I will enter a new password and he type it. Okay, now that I've give a password to our user, we can force him to change the password at the first connection by using the command sudo passwd -e Samsung. And now we can see again the information about the Samsung account. Use the command sudo change -l Samsung. Okay, now we see that the information here have changed. The password SP, password must be changed. Password inactive, password must be changed. Account SP, password must be changed again. So now we will try to log in the Samsung account and now change his password. So sudo Samsung. Okay. So you are required to change your password immediately. This is our rule we just create. I will enter a new password for my user, for the user Samsung. Authentication error. So now, if I exit the Samsung account, now that I exit the Samsung account, I will create a new rule for the account of Samsung. I will define a new parameter for his account. So that parameter is what? He must change his password at least between 5 days. So sudo change -m5, and the password of the Samsung account will expire in 90 days. So -m again, -90, and after expiration the account will be inactive for 2 days. So -i2, and the warning period, he will be warning to change his password after 5 days. So -w5 for the Samsung account. Okay. Okay, so if you want to see again the information about the Samsung account, we just run the command sudo change -l Samsung. Yes, as we can see here, the last change of password must be changed. The password SP, password must be changed, and here we have a new modification, which is the minimum number of days between password change. It is now 5. The maximum number of days between password change, it is now 90, and the number of warning before password SP, it is now 5. So this configuration is necessary when in an organization where we have a new employee which is not part of our organization again, and it avoid him to try to access the system again. Okay. Let's continue now with setting up a password complexity criteria using our ALMA Linux distribution. So, password complexity criteria is just a set of parameter or a parameter that we define so that any new created user will have a strong and very good password. To do this, we need to edit the password, the PW quality file. So open it, sudo nano etc/security/pw quality.com. Now in this file we have many parameters that we can define so that all new created user will have a very good password. For example, here we have min-name. Min-name is the maximum length of our password. Here now it is 8, means that I cannot create a new user with a password less than 8 characters. We also have dcredit, which defines the number of digits that our new password must have. We have ucredit, which defines the number of uppercase our password must have. So let's modify that min-name to 19 and create a new user. Try to assign him different password. So I will change to 19 and edit the file. Now I will create a new user. So sudo user add. Our user is Goldie. I will assign to him now different password. So sudo pass wd Goldie. And that password is this. The first one is 2k lips. The second one is 2k lips with T in capital letter and L in capital letter. The third one will be 2k93 lips, which is T in capital letter, 2 digits, and L in capital letter. So let's assign the first password. And we have already the message which indicates that the password is shorter than 19 characters. Exit and assign now the second one. So run the same command and try to assign the second password with T in capital letter and L in capital letter. So we have again the same error message which shows that the password is shorter than 19 characters. This is the effect of the min-name parameter. So if we exit and assign again the third password, which is 2 digits and 2 capital letters, we should have 2k93 lips. And we also have the same message which indicates that the password is shorter than 19 characters. So we exit and open the configuration file again. Try to see which parameter we can also modify. So we recommend the min-name and find other parameters that we can modify also. Here, for example, we have the min place. The min place just defines the minimum number of the type of the different class our password must have. For example, of class, we have the digit, the uppercase, the lowercase, and special character. So now it is 0. I will decomment that line and define it to 3 to say that all new created user must have a password with 3 different classes of character. I can also modify here a max class repeat. Max class repeat is just a number of times that a new classes of character should be repeated in the password. If I define here to 5, means that I cannot have a password which have more than 5 consecutive classes of character. So I will uncomment it, exit the file, and try to assign again the same password to our user. So sudo passwd goldie, and I will assign the first password again, which is all in small letter. So Kelly, and we have a new error message which says that the password contains more than 5 characters of the same class. So I will assign again the second password. So exit first, and sudo passwd goldie. Now I will assign the second password, which is T in capital letter and L in capital letter. So T. And we have also a new error message which says that the password contains less than 3 character classes. Now I will exit and assign again the third password, which is T in capital letter 93. Now the password is going, so I can retype it again. Okay, I have updated the password of our new user. So we can see now that the new password meet the requirement we defined in the PW quality. Our password don't have a consecutive character which repeat much than 5 times, and it contains the 3 classes of character, which is capital letter, small lower letter, and lowercase letter, and digit. So this is necessary to force the user to have a good and very strong password. So in this lab, we are going to learn how to detect a file that may pose a risk in Linux system. We look for the file with the set user ID or the set group ID permissions and compare their state before and after modification. For this, we will use a find command with appropriate option to list all the files with this permission and store that list in a text file. So sudo find the type fichier with the permission 6000 and store it in text1.txt. Okay, now that we have listed all the files with that permission, we try now to do some modification and compare the state before and after modification. So we will log in another account, in the Lionel account, Lionel, and in the Lionel account we will try to create a shell script and assign to that script the set user ID permission. So touch script.sh, and now give to that script the S user ID permission by do chmod 4755 script.sh. Now we can say ls -l script.sh. Okay, we can see that the S user ID has been currently added to the script.sh file. Now we will exit the Lionel account and find again all the files that have the set user ID or set group ID permission. So we should run the same command again and just change the the destination file by text2.txt. Okay, now we can do the comparison between the two files to see what have been added. So div text1.txt and text2.txt. Okay, enter. Okay, we can clearly see that a new file has been added to the previous file. So here you can see that a user Lionel have created a script called script.sh with a set user ID permission, because here we have RWS. So this script has been created by Lionel and the name is script.sh. So monitoring the file with the set group ID or set user ID is essential to quickly detect vulnerabilities in the systems. Okay, now in this exercise we are going to use the Kali Linux distribution and the API Pune password to check if our passwords have been compromised or not. First, we will call the HTTPS API Pune password to see how many passwords there are with the 21 GB1 string in the hashes. So curl HTTPS API.Pune password.com/range 21/21 GB1. Okay, so this command will show us how many passwords there are with this 21 GB1 string in the hashes. So enter, and we can see here a set of passwords which is already known by the attacker. We will use now a script to check if our password belong to this set or not. So first we give the execution right to this script. So chmod, let me clear this one first. And now we say chmod user +x is Pune password.sh.txt. Okay, and now we run the script using any password as parameter. So Pune password.sh.txt. Now our first password will be used is 2k libs. So 2k libs. Okay, we have an answer here. The candidate password is compromised. Now if you try to change the password pass as parameter, if to push 2k libs, you can also put our own password, maybe anything we want, and we see that the candidate password is compromised. Now if you try to assign again another password, this is a combination of string and any classes of character that we know, and up to 8 characters, we will see that the message here will change. So if you enter the password like this with the string in the capital letter, okay, we can see that the message has changed here, and we see the candidate password is okay for use. So this is how we can do to check if our password is already known by the attacker or not. In this task, we will protect a file using special attribute. We use the append only and immutable attribute to prevent modification, deletion, or renaming of a file. We will use a series of commands. First, echo, this is a text. in the demo.txt. Now we see the attribute given to the file by run ls attribute demo.txt. Okay, actually the file doesn't have any special attribute. We will add now a special attribute to that file, the append only. So change sudo change attribute append only to demo.txt. Okay. Since I am using the sudo command, I have to enter my password. Now that we have added the append only attribute to the file, we will try now to do some modification or deletion of this file. First, we will try to add any text in the file again. So echo, I want to modify. In the demo.txt, we see that operation is not permitted. Now, even if I use sudo to write this in the demo.txt, try to use it and you will see sudo echo. Again, operation is not permitted. Since we have added this attribute to the file, we cannot add something. Now I will try to remove the file. So remove demo.txt. Again, the operation is not permitted. Even if I put the sudo here, still operation is not permitted. But if now I want to modify the file and I just want to add something at the end of the file, I will say that echo, I want to add at the end, and put this like that, demo.txt. Okay, now the command has taken very well. I will now remove the append only attribute and add the immutable attribute and try to do again the same modification. So sudo change attribute minus a demo.txt. I have removed that attribute, and if I say again ls attribute of demo.txt, okay, we see that the file again doesn't have any attribute. Now I will add another attribute which is immutable. So sudo change attribute plus I to demo.txt. Okay, and if I try to see again the attribute of a file, so ls attribute demo.txt. okay, you can see that I have added a new attribute to my file which is immutable. And if I try again to perform this modification, so echo, I want to modify. In the demo.txt. Okay, operation is not permitted. Even if I use the sudo again. Okay, again operation is not permitted. Even I try now to remove demo.txt. Operation is not permitted. I will use now the sudo. Okay, operation is not permitted again. Now we are going to change the file name and write a hard link to the file. So sudo no, we are going to change the name first. Move demo.txt to demo1.txt. Enter. The operation is not permitted even if you use here sudo. So even the root cannot change the name of the file. Now if I try to create a hard link to the file, so island demo.txt demo1.txt. You will see again that the operation is not permitted. Even if I use sudo, even the root cannot create a hard link to the file. Now I will try to add a symbolic link to that file. So ln -s this demo.txt and demo1.txt. Enter. Now we can see that I have created the symbolic link to my file, even if it actually have the immutable attribute. So this is how we can protecting or add a special attribute to our file and prevent any unauthorized alteration even by mistake. After see how to protect individual file, we will now see how to secure a shared folder between multiple users. We will set up a shared folder with special right and access control lists to precisely control who can modify or read files. So we need to create a group. Sudo group add. The group name market. And in this group, I will add some users. So sudo user add in the group market the user menu, and then also add the user grace and add also the user mommy. Define a password for each user. Sudo pass wd mini do the same thing for grace. And also do the same thing for mommy. Okay. After create our users in the market group, we will now create a directory at a root level. So sudo mkd sal. The directory will be named sal. And then now we will change the ownership of the directory to nobody and the market group. So sudo change ownership nobody for market and the sal directory. Okay, now we will give a special permission to the directory, the sticky bit. So sudo change mode 3770 sal. Okay, after that I will now log into the Mimi account and create a file into the sal directory. So su Mimi, enter a password of Mimi, and then change directory to sal. Okay, in the sal directory I will create a file and write something inside. So echo this file belong to Mimi, and the name of the file will be mimifile.txt. Okay, after that I can say ls-l to see if the file has been correctly created. Okay, the file mimi.txt have been correctly created. So now I will give the read and write permission to only the owner of the file, so to Mimi, and test now in the Grace account. So I will change the mode to 600 to see that only the user can read or write. So 600 to Mimi file.txt. Okay, after give the write, I will now configure an ACL list to this file. So setf access control list to modify. So this permission is to give the right to the user Grace to only read the Mimi file. So the command is setf ACL to the user. So get the ACL list to the user Grace, and she can only read the Mimi file. .txt. I can also see if my ACL have been well configured. So get ACL Mimi file.txt. Okay, I have here a group, a max, another, and the user of my Mimi file.txt. So now I will exit the Mimi account and test with the Grace account. So exit the Mimi account and go now in the Grace account, try to modify the file, the Mimi file. So su Grace, and enter a password. Now into the Grace account, I will also change the directory to sal directory. So, and inside the directory I can display the Mimi file. Mimi file.txt. Okay, I can clearly see the content of the Mimi file. Now I will try to add something inside the Mimi file in the Grace account. So echo I want to modify. And I try to write it inside the Mimi file. .txt. Okay, we see that permission denied. See, you have said that ch mode 600 to the Mimi file. Now I will create a new file inside the a new file which belongs to Grace. So echo and write something inside. Is why I say echo. This file belongs to Grace. And then this is a file. This is a Grace file. .txt. Okay. After write this, I will exit the Grace account and test now with the mommy account. So sudo now mommy. Enter a password. And now in the mommy account, I will also change the directory to the cell group, to the cell directory. And then inside the directory, I will display the two files, the Mimi file and the Grace file. So cat first the Mimi file. Mimi file.txt. Okay. And can see that permission denied since I have given the 600 to the file. Now if I try also to see the content of the Grace file, so cat Grace file.txt. Okay, this file belongs to Grace. So now I can see the user mommy can see the content of the Grace file. Now if I try to remove all the file in the cell group, so remove -f to remove the Grace file, for example, .txt. So we cannot, the operation is not permitted. If I also try to remove the Mimi file, so remove Mimi file.txt. Also the operation is not permitted. So access control lists allow for very precise permission on file share between multiple users, since the sticky bit protect a file in a shared directory. Here we discover how to install tools to centralize users and access management across multiple machines. With free IPA and ACLs, we create a kind of server that manages all users' accounts on a network from a single location. Why it is important? Because in a business setting, having users managed locally on each machine is unmanageable. Centralizing simplifies administration and improves security. So we are reaching the end of our video. We have explored the essential foundation for securing a Linux system, from controlling privileges with sudo to password complexity, encrypting personal data and account expiration. Each step strengthens security. We have also learned how to check if your passwords have been compromised, how to create a protected shared directory, and use access control lists to precise access control. Finally, with free IPA, we have set up a centralized identity and access management known as IAM. These are simple yet powerful tools for building a more reliable and secure Linux infrastructure. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. Feel free to subscribe, like, or leave a comment if you have any question. See you later.